For today's pronunciation tip, I'm going to tell you about the name of a little town in Norway that you've probably never heard of. Actually, 6 little towns, all with the same name. That name is one letter, but not just any letter. It's a letter that you only get in Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish. It's this letter. You've probably looked at that letter and wondered, how do you actually say that? Is it A? Is it A? What is it? Let me tell you how I learned how to say it. When I was 16, I spent the summer in an international conference center in Switzerland. They had people from all over the world there, and especially all over Europe, including lots of Scandinavians, many of whom I really wanted to get to know better. And of course, they all spoke perfect English, but you know, I love languages. I love learning languages. So I did the obvious thing. I went into the library and I started reading this book. Oh, what? You thought I was just going to go walk up to them and be like, oh, can you teach me your language because I don't know anything about it? No, I don't think I was going to do that. No. I mean, I was 16. There was no way I was going to admit to not knowing anything. And also, I wasn't especially extroverted. So I looked at this book, not this copy. I bought this copy later. Teach Yourself Norwegian. The first thing they tell you is how to pronounce the letters. So for this letter, the A with a ring on it, it says, its nearest equivalent in English is the vowel in call, C-A-L-L. I'm like, okay, great. So one of the first phrases I learned means, I don't understand. This is a good early phrase to learn, in a language. It's this. I tried this out. I'm like, hey, I learned a phrase in Norwegian. Jeg forstår ikke. And they're like, what are you trying to say? Oh, you don't have that quite right. So this is where I realized 2 things. A, this book was written for British English speakers. B, British English phonology has sounds that don't exist in Canadian English phonology, or for that matter, some versions of American English phonology. And this sound is one of them. In the version of British English they wrote this book for, they don't say, I'm going to call you tomorrow. They say, oh, I shall call you tomorrow. In Canadian English, we have what is known as a merger. We say this word as caught and this word as caught. But in England, they say this word as caught. That is not an official vowel sound in Canadian English or many kinds of American English. But we do make that sound. We make it in one place before R. So we do say court or. Got that? So to make that sound, all you have to do is start to say or and then take the R off. Or if you're going to say it with an R after it, you don't even have to do that. So, jeg forstår ikke. Jeg forstår ikke. There you go. And as to the name of that town, well, it's Å. 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 Å.